I just want to potentially piss a bunch of people off by saying that Lara Kate Dale is completely right. Now, I don't particularly care for Lara Kate Dale. I've actually met her in real life once, and I'm not really relevant here, but whatever. Look, her history, not something I'd say is particularly great. From the goofy persona, they say retard sort of treat to whatever. Point is, she's actually completely correct here in as far as, Nier's treatment of intersex characters, I guess, is pretty fetishy, and I guess you could call it gross and disheartening. It's definitely not respectful. Now, I don't really care that much. That's not really something which will affect my choice to buy the game. I already sort of expected this. And that's because Yoko Taro has always kind of been like this. Now, to talk about my history with the guy, I want to just say that I kind of got on the Yoko Taro train in sort of the middle. I wasn't there for Drakengard, but I was there for the first Nier, and despite middling reviews, I thought it looked kind of neat. So I bought it, and I actually really enjoyed it. Now, what I mostly liked was kind of the genuinely great cast, which didn't feel the need to pad out the party. You got 4 very solid characters. They were a lot of fun. Then you had all its varied gameplay and its constant surprises, really. So I really enjoyed the first Nier. But I'm not a Yoko Taro stan. My history with his other games is way more mixed. I tried the first Drakengard and I gave up. I dropped that shit because it was fucking shitty to play, to be honest. I'm sure you can say, well, you should have spent more time, it gets better, but I was like, whatever. I got games which are good right now, and I'm not going to trust you guys because I know how much you guys seem to love this dude, and I will happily admit, despite the fact that I would give the first Nier a perfect 4 out of 4, it's got some really major issues, but that's kind of irrelevant. Let's skip out on that. Then Drakengard 3 came along, and while it was definitely an improvement on Drakengard 1, I gotta say, that final boss can fuck the hell off. I'm not forgiving him for that shit. It's not clever, it's not good, it's fucking mediocre and annoying. And I refuse to use a YouTube guide or something to see the ending. So my history, bit mixed. Then Nier 2, well, I bought it on PC. That's all you need to know. So yeah, but I'm still looking forward to replaying that first, even though the main character I actually kind of liked has now been replaced with some Shota looking dick. That's why reviewers most like it so much. They love Shota cock, which Yoko Taro himself definitely does seem to, because holy shit, does he put his fetishes in his games a lot? No, I don't really mind this stuff. I don't really care. Maybe if you're LGBT or whatever, and you're kind of becoming aware that this is more, a middle-aged man's personal kinks than a representation. I know there's a lot of people who like to pretend that 2 like cartoon anime chicks grabbing each other's tits is like good lesbian representation. I don't really care. It's not my bag. I like to point it out because it's kind of silly, but it's not really what I'm concerned about. I don't know if like Wambler, the woman boy love association, is mad at him because he loves to shove that in there, and maybe he's not a little boy, and he's not a woman who's into little boys, so maybe that's a thing. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I'm not going to get into that. Now, Yoko Taro also has an obvious femdom bit of a thing. Like, this is where I think the Yoko Taro audience gets a bit weird, because I brought up recently on Twitter that I wasn't really a fan of some of the visual changes they made in the remake/remaster they're doing. I'm not really huge on how Kanye, how do you pronounce her name? Kanye looks. And I got a lot of responses saying, wow, she looks more feminine, more doll-like now, because Yoko Taro wants to have that contrast of like a sweary, foul-mouthed chick who is also, extremely hot in a kind of porcelain doll sort of anime babe way. And I'm thinking like, no, I think that's just a fetish of his. He's done he seems to very much like attractive women who yell and swear and are very domineering. That's kind of opposite of me. I'm like I'm so not into that. It's kind of came out the other end, and I don't really like receiving awe anymore because I'm like I'm not in charge there. Like, you want to do cowgirl? Wait till I'm asleep. You can do it then. Don't let me know. So yes, this stuff is kind of, Lowercase Dale is correct. It's kind of disrespectful to have you look up the skirt of an intersex character for an achievement. But at the same time, I'm like, nothing about this surprises me in the least. My real take here is that creators have a right to be offensive. They have a right to put shit in, which maybe upsets some people. Like, I don't, but I also think maybe people shouldn't be in denial about it. Maybe they shouldn't sort of pretend. Like, the only reason this is even a thing is that people, because, oh, Yoko Taro, get on his wild ride, he's got to subvert your expectations, which was never really why I liked the first Nier in the first place. I think the biggest, like, backhanded compliment I've seen given the Nier remake is a very positive review which said, and on the second playthrough it's better because, you know, it's there's more cutscenes and the game, and because you're over leveled you can skip most of the gameplay. That was never really my takeaway from the first Nier. It wasn't about, you know, killing a bunch of Zelda bosses and then playing through it again and hearing about how they all had tragic, sad backstories. You know, to me, the whole idea of a replay felt a bit fillerish, to be honest. There's a lot I wasn't huge on, but, you know, the quality of what I liked was so high, I forgave that. But, you know, I think because people have came to see Yoko Taro as the guy to beat David Cage. He's our David, which is just kind of sad, really, but whatever. Yep, he's got that fan base now, and some of them are gonna have to turn on him because he's not exactly what they wanted, I guess.